Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ and Rage. DeMar DeRozan is a Sacramento King. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. You're now tuned in to Hoops World.
Hoops World.
Right here, the king is like, hey, guess what? I'm still the king.
I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang nor the homie. Don't blow me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nights, blicky on me. I was just stacking my commas up. Head down, trying to run it up. These niggas be steady, be
Yeah, man. Like this was a crazy move. I mean, I know it's late in free agency and Paul George went to the Sixers. Other things happened that was more flashy, but this was a little low key flashy, man. This DeMar DeRozan. I'm gonna start with this report by The Athletic. The Sacramento Kings made a significant offseason addition by trading for DeMar in a deal with Chicago Bulls. The veteran guard will join the likes of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Sacramento has a team to aim to compete in the ever-crowded Western Conference playoff race. So, bro, what did you think of this move? Like, were you kind of like slightly shocked, or were you just like, it's a right move? Like, how do you feel about this, DeMar DeRozan?
So we actually heard quite a bit that, DeMar DeRozan to the Kings was a thing for quite a bit now.
Yeah,
And it wasn't really too surprising, but my instant reaction off the acquisition was, oh, well, their offense is going to be absolutely ridiculous. We already know the
yeah,
Kings have been one of those offenses, and DeRozan's just going to add to that. His stats actually for the past year were pretty solid. DeMar DeRozan for his age is still playing quite a bit of games at 34. He played 79 games, but he averaged 24 points, 4.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 48% from the field, 33.3% from three, honestly, and 85.3% from the free throw line. These are actually all like every one of his stats actually were better than like his average. Obviously he's been, that type of player ever since like he got into Chicago, and ever since he's gotten better, he's
yeah,
just been pretty good. But they're gonna be insane offensively. And it's just a matter of, okay, what else is next in terms of defense and how everything looks, because we know that's going to be an issue moving forward. We already knew that was already kind of an issue with them,
yeah.
but it'll sting a little bit more with just DeRozan, with just everybody they have right now. But they still have Keegan Murray, and they still have guys who can play defense on their squad, but they're going to need to add to it for sure.
Yeah, and I think like when I first heard about this trade, I was like, okay, this probably moves the Kings. Like I said, their ceiling is probably like a 6 seed in the West because the West is so stacked, bro, and there's so many good teams, and this definitely raises the Kings ceiling. But I said at best they're a 6 seed or still in the play-in, it's like teetering play-in. What do you think in the East? This kind of like matches them up well against. Who do you think? Let's say if they get matched up in the playoffs, they could take advantage of. I mean, if free agency isn't over, right? They're looking at I've heard they're looking at Kyle Kuzma, trying to get Kyle Kuzma on this team also. But what do you think they like match up in the West, bro?
So, in terms of like the other teams that they'll see in the West, I agree with that in terms of them being like a 6 seed. They are good,
Mhm.
but like I said, the defense will still be an issue in there. Like it's just so stacked
Yeah,
over in that conference. But they can still make, even more solid moves, like you mentioned Kyle Kuzma, but still doesn't help their defense.
yeah,
Uh, but like I said, like they're gonna be solid for the team that they are right now. And if they continue to add to their defense, and we've seen teams like obviously the Mavs have, some good defenders now, but we saw that they were a team defensively that looked like was going to be awful with Kyrie and Luca, and then they
yeah,
eventually got it together. You know, it could be a similar situation like that with Sacramento. We know that they've consistently had like a iffy defense,
yeah.
but they could still make more moves to it. It's just it's so stacked in a conference like that. It makes sense why they, wanted to continue to try and win, but
Yeah,
there's
and
still
with
more work to do in a conference like that.
yeah, I agree. And with the Kings, bro, it's like, okay, the good thing you got with DeMar is a mid-range assassin. He's gonna get you buckets. You needed somebody like with kind of like in between games because the Aaron Fox, and you got Sabonis on the inside. So he's gonna be killing the mid range. I think you have enough shooting around him because the shooting that's going to be around him, he's going to have Keegan. He's going to have De'Aaron Fox has turned into a sneaky, really good 3-point shooter recently. I know he's not known for that, but he's been shooting well recently. And then you got Malik Monk coming. He's a decent 3-point shooter. Like these guys aren't bad 3-point shooters. So putting that much 3-point shooting around DeMar DeRozan is going to make it easier for him to work and slash, get into the lane and work that mid range. But it's like the defense is just where it's like you just got to make timely stops if they can. If they can do make timely stops, they could be like a sneaky team, a dark horse. But if that Kyle Kuzma can play defense when he's engaged. So like it does increase. It gives you at least a wing defender, like a set wing defender. Maybe I don't know how would that work with the lineups, but it would definitely increase their. Like I think if Kyle Kuzma will push him up to top 5, I think if they make that move, and I think Chris Haynes or one of the reporters said Kuzma has like I think a 2 first rounds. I think they're trying to put a high price on Kuzma, man. But yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Let us know in the comments. What do you think about this DeMar DeRozan move? Like, how far do you think the Kings could go? Yeah, so we'll be back. Follow on Instagram and TikTok at HoopsBro0, more edits, and we'll be dropping more about NBA Summer League and free agency. Appreciate you guys so much.